माननीय श्री ऑनरेबल K.R. Suresh Reddy.
Thank you, Deputy Chairman, sir. I thank you for the opportunity, and I also express my gratitude to our respected Rashtrapati ji address, which has strengthened the confidence of this House, sir. Deputy Chairman, sir, the address of Rashtrapati ji began, and very rightly so, reminding us of the adoption of the 75 years of our Constitution and also celebration of our Republic, 75 years of our Republic, sir. Through her, the entire nation appreciates the contribution of Baba Sahib Ambedkar and the framers of the Constitution. While I take this opportunity to congratulate Prime Minister Modi and his government for their achievements in the last many years, but a lot more to be desired, to be fulfilled, sir. Being the third term, I expected some major announcements through the President's address. And when we pay tribute to Baba Sahib Ambedkar, the first thing which comes to my mind when I think of Baba Sahib Ambedkar is vision for the country is water, Pani. Very rightly, he was called the waterman of our country, sir, because he had a vision of utilizing the water resources of our country. He was instrumental in creating many boards which would direct the country, advise the country on water utilization. The fallout of that one could be the Central Water Commission. But unfortunately, in the last 75 years, when we look at the utilization of our water resources, there's a lot to be done, in spite of the fact various governments, through the initiation, have utilized the river waters to a certain extent, but not to the desired level. My leader and president of my party, KCRG, had a very clear vision. During the struggle for Telangana and in the 10 years of his governance, and subsequently even when we are out of power, he always kept reminding the people in power in Delhi the need to utilize and strengthen the water resources. He came out with facts, some very startling figures, not his figures, but given by the CWC. In this country, Deputy Chairman, sir, every year there's a rainfall of 140,000 TMC of water. 140,000 TMC of water is in the form of rainfall, and assuming that 50% of it, which is say 70,000 TMC, is absorbed by the earth, by the ground, there is still 70,000 TMC of water which is available to be utilized. And in the last 75 years, when we look at the figures, we get to know that it's only 20,000 TMC of water is utilized, and the remaining 50,000 goes wasted, goes into the sea. Now, 75 years to utilize 20,000 TMC of water. A country which is rich in resources, bountiful in rivers, a weather which is favorable for agriculture, and various climatic conditions which suit various crops. And still, today what we face water wars, interstate disputes, intrastate disputes, inter-district disputes, intra-district disputes, in spite of God being so kind and giving us so much water. So what is the reason behind this? What are the causes for all this? What has the government has to do? And when I really look at it, and as my leader KCRG keeps rightly advising us, is the fact that whenever there is a dispute, Chairman sir, now we have through an act of Parliament this interstate dispute water tribunals. Now when we look at the functioning of the tribunals, each tribunal have a list of tribunals in my own state, my neighboring states, on the Godavari River, on the Krishna River, And on the rivers across the countries, there are various tribunals which have been functioning and functioning. And if you look at the average span of each tribunal to decide, it is more than 10 years, 15 years, 20 years they are taking to resolve a dispute. What happens in this period of time? What happens is a generation or two generations are lost. Garib wahan ka wahan reh gaya. And this is a loss in a country which have lost generations fighting for freedom. And after freedom in the 75 years, we are still not able to resolve these fundamental natural resource, which is so essential for our prosperity. And today in the August House, when honorable members were speaking of the divide between the haves and have-nots, the inequality levels growing, the rural-urban divide. So what are the ways and means to fix this? Government is doing a few things, but according to Baba Sahib Ambedkar, one magic for the country is utilization of our water resources. And a fitting tribute today, in the 75th year, when we pay our tribute and when we honor him, I hope and pray that the government, and I hope and see and hope to hear when the Prime Minister replies to the August House on the motion of thanks, he will come with an announcement on this utilization of the river water, sir. There is a need for the government, central government, to ensure that the interstate disputes are settled at the earliest. There is a need for the government of India to intervene, bring both the parties, both the states or tripartite states to the table. And when issues are resolved, can be through a form of an incentive. When dams are to be built, then there could be a central grant for the dams where center can give 20%, 30%, 40%. You can give as grant. Like yesterday's budget, you announced a major water initiative dam for Bihar. Similarly, 4 corners of our country could be done that. When we see the kind of storage capacities of our dams, sir, I was really taken aback. The biggest dam in our country, which is in Madhya Pradesh, the Indira Sagar Dam, it has a capacity of 431 TMC. And when you look at the average rainfall in Madhya Pradesh, it's about 12,778 TMC. So this is the quantum of rainfall, and the reservoir storage capacities is at 431. And when you compare our thing globally, now let us look at a small country like Zambia, Zimbabwe. There they have this Kariba Dam, which stores 6,376 TMC of water. The entire waterfall of Madhya Pradesh is stored in one reservoir there, sir. And of course, I can go on and on with various dams across here and there. There's a big, big difference. Now the question comes, if you want to build a big dam, there is a question of resettlement becomes an issue. How do we resolve this? Well, Telangana is a very good example. We have built the world's largest lift irrigation dam in the world, the Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project, which has transformed Telangana in a matter of 6 years under the leadership of KCR Garu from a drought-stricken area to the #1 paddy growing state in the country, sir. So land acquisition was not a problem. Technology is available. A series of dams, series of lifts ensured that the major tracts of water could come under irrigation. So these are the initiatives which need to be taken up, sir. The second thing which is troubling us is the power. Now, power also is a big issue, sir. When we look at power, there is abundant electricity available in the country. For example, the installed capacity of India, our nation, is 462 gigawatts of power. And what is the peak utilization? It is only 250 gigawatts. So there is an abundance of power which is not utilized, and the reasons for it could be many. One could be transmission lines, one could be disputes. But all said and done, when an available capacity is there and there are regions which are not getting power, why can't some out-of-the-box thinking come and resolve these matters? And we are in the 75th year of our republic, sir. So these are the concerns which are really affecting the growth of our nation. And I believe that in the coming months and coming years, if areas like these are addressed, then definitely the progress, what we are looking at 5 trillion, 7 trillion, could be achieved, and the equitable distribution of wealth, which is so paramount for a nation as diverse as India, so that an harmony is maintained for the long interest of our country, sir. So, for example, we look at the recent happenings in Kumbh Mela. Kumbh Mela has been an eye-opener. Of course, I express my condolences to the families who have lost their loved ones. It was a huge congregation. In spite of government of Uttar Pradesh doing its best, unfortunate incidents happen. But my suggestion to the government, sir, when such a big event happens, India is filled with talent. You have the IAS officers, IPS officers, the first grade 1 officers across the nation. They are regular pass-outs who are just coming out of the Sardar Patel training institutes. Why don't you put them there? Why don't these officers, IAS officers, like how the Election Commission takes them and puts them as observers across the nation, why not assemble these people? Two things can happen in that. One, there will be a proper regulation of traffic, proper monitoring. And two, for these young officers, sir, it will be an experience. The kind of diversity, the diverse people they get to see, interact, will go it will be a long learning experience for them, as they are the future administrators, as they will be in the PMO, they will be in the CMO, they will be guiding. If this is the thing which can be absorbed, can be taken up, it would have been a very good thing. It is never too late. You got another 20 days to go for the Mela, to the Kumbh Mela. And in the coming year, we have the Godavari Pushkaralu, the similar thing coming up across the country. So learn from Kumbh and ensure that those things do not happen, sir. Northeast has been a region where I like to congratulate the government that they have done remarkably good work, sir. For the last many years, Northeast has come into prominence. Northeast has become a very favorable destination for many. But in Northeast stands out Manipur. And on Manipur, Chairman, sir, I would like to reiterate my request again, because this is the President's motion of thanks address. I wish an address by Rashtrapati Ji to Manipur House, if it is done, definitely, or Uparashtrapati also. Why Uparashtrapati and Rashtrapati Ji? Well, but the question is, if they can address, or if she can address the House, she will be a catalyst. It will be above politics. It will be an healing touch for the people of Manipur, sir. So if this can be taken by the government, I think it would go a long way in solving not only Manipur, but also putting up the Northeast corridor entirely in the national grid. So finally, initially, when I came to speak, sir, they said only 5 minutes. So I said, I'm a 4-party member. How can I'm the only speaker, so how can you give me 5 minutes? So you were kind enough, sir, that you gave me 15 minutes. And I hope this tradition continues. Even the tradition also continues for the budget and other occasions, sir. And finally, on the anti-defection, sir, you are a very passionate speaker, not only speaking outside, but also in running the House. I've been seeing you for the last 5 years. I've seen our Vice Chairman, the Chairman, sir, our Vice President running the House. So passionate. You've been talking of legislative improvements, Parliament losing its relevance if we do not rise to the occasion. But one big thing which is troubling India's parliamentary democracy in the 75th year of our republic is the anti-defection, sir. Anti-defection needs to be addressed. You need to have the will to curb it. You can do it. Why allow the courts to intervene on every defection which happens across the state? The Parliament is competent enough. Earlier we had committees. Constitute a committee or let the Committee on Law and Justice look into the evolution of defections and make certain amendments which can tighten, make it watertight, so that anti-defection in the 75th year, India should be a shining example, as we call ourselves as a parliament, so, mother of parliament. But if we have such lapses, we may not be setting a right example. So anti-defection is one area. Under your leadership, I really look forward. Suggestions definitely would be forthcoming from the chair, sir. So with these few words, I thank you for the opportunity, and I once again thank the Rashtrapati ji for addressing us. Jai Hind.
धन्यवाद माननीय क्या सुरेश रेड्डी जी। माननीय श्री संजय राउत जी।